This Saturday, May 4th, MLB Betting Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, MLB, MMA, NHL, golf, and more. Sign up today at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code MLBSGPN to get a 100% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by NYRA Bets. Sign up today for a free $25 bet and $200 deposit bonus with promo code SGPN25. Just go to nyrabets.com/SGPN25. Welcome, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Friday, May the 3rd, here to get into the MLB betting card for the Saturday games on the Diamond. And joining me here to help me break everything down, guys know him as the voice of the NBA Gambling Podcast, and of course here on the MLB Gambling Podcast, it's Lonte Smith. Lonte, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. Friday, got some good action this weekend. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man, some intriguing matchups this weekend. I mean, it's headlined by the Braves visiting the Dodgers and a couple other great series as well. Orioles are in Cincinnati. Rangers and Royals going at it. Mariners and Astros. Mets starting to look like they're turning in the right direction as well. So it should be an intriguing weekend as well this weekend. We have 14 of the 15 games with starting pitchers and lines available right now. I think the only game that is missing is going to be the Red Sox game. I believe that game did not have a list for the Red Sox, but the Twins do have Pablo Lopez starting, so we'll that's the only game that we won't get into here for the Saturday card on the Diamond here, Lonte. Did see one game in the books on Friday afternoon. The Milwaukee Brewers come from behind in the 8th inning. In fact, put up 3 runs, get the victory against the Cubs, 3-1 there. Pretty good pitching matchup there. If you did have the under, that one got to the window fairly easily, but really solid outing from both starters for the Cubs and the Brewers, respectively. Joe Ross and Hayden Wesneski got the job done, but the bullpen really blew it there for the Chicago. Or was it Alonso for the Chicago Cubs? But we'll flip the page here. We'll get over to the Saturday card here, Lonte, and let's just dive right into it, my man. First game on the schedule, it's going to be a early afternoon start, 1:05 Eastern. We're headed to Yankee Stadium. The Detroit Tigers are visiting the Yankees with Casey Mize getting the start in this game, and Clark Schmidt gets a start here for the New York Yankees. Yankees a -162 home favorite, +136 on the money line for the Detroit Tigers. Total is set at 8 in this game here, Lonto. What do you think about this matchup between Schmidt and Mize?
Yeah, man, I like the under. That's probably going to be a constant theme throughout the show. I like a lot of unders on the slate, but I think that both teams, obviously the Yankees offense is kind of hit or miss, but I do think Smith on the mound, who's been really good, 1 earned run or fewer in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's not allowing a lot of contact, and I don't think we have to worry about the Tigers doing a lot of hitting. I mean, they are decent offensively, but nothing to write home about. They do perform well on the road, but they went under in 6 of the last 10. 3 of Mize's 5 starts have went under. He also has 2 earned or fewer in 4 straight games. So Yankees returning home from 2 straight road series. They're 3 games over 500 at home, 500 in the last 10. I just don't trust the offense. I trust the pitching. I trust the bullpen. I just don't trust the offense to consistently kind of must throw up runs. I mean, they had 2 earned runs or fewer in 3 straight games. Prior to that, they came with the outburst against the Brewers, 30 combined in the previous 2. So that just shows the inconsistencies. And also 9 of the 13 home games that went under. So I like the under 8 here, man. I think we see a pitching duel. I can see, a 4-3, even, maybe not even that. I think we see maybe a 3-2 type of game here.
Yeah, both pitchers. The Tigers have won all 5 of the starts that he's made this season for the Detroit Tigers. And look on the run support, they've scored at least 4 runs in all 5 starts. They've scored 6 runs in 3 out of the 5 starts that he has made for the Detroit Tigers. Meanwhile, Clark Schmidt, like you mentioned, overall in his last 5 games, a 2.81 ERA, coming off a stellar outing against the Baltimore Orioles. Unfortunately, in that game, didn't really get the run support from the Yankees as they put about goose egg in that game against the Orioles. But yeah, both pitchers really going along well here. Could see this being a pitcher's duel again here between these 2 teams. So with you on the under, I think there may be a little value here on the Tigers as well, around plus 136 right now, currently over on DraftKings. So under and the Tigers for me in this game. Before we get over to the next game here on the schedule, Lonte, maybe not too late for you guys on the Kentucky Derby, because it's Derby week and on the Sports Gambling Podcast. Tune in as the guys get you ready for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports and playoffs happening in the NBA and the NHL. Make sure you guys check us out on the NBA Gambling Podcast and also on the Hockey Gambling Podcast for episodes to get you locked in exciting playoff action. All right, next game on the schedule here, we'll go over to St. Louis, where the Chicago White Sox are in town. They are taking on the Cardinals. I'm seeing currently Eric Fedde gets a start here for the White Sox and Lance Lynn on the mound here for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals minus 180 on the money line, plus 150 on the money line for the Chicago White Sox. Total is set at 8 in this game here, Lonte. What do you think about this matchup between Fedde and Lynn?
Yeah, man, I'm going under again. This is another under play. We know the White Sox offense is pretty much pathetic. I mean, it picked up over the last week, but I mean, I don't consistently trust them to go over. Freddie's been good. 1.6 ERA, 2 earned runs or less in 4 of his last 5. Lynn's been pretty good as well. 1 earned or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's also, you might want to look at a K prop for him with the White Sox lineup kind of being a high rate of swing and miss. He has 6+ Ks in 3 of his 5 starts. Both teams offensively are hitting under 220 on the year. Chicago's offense doesn't travel. Actually, they don't have any at all, so it can't travel. But they're hitting 205 on the road. I trust Lynn. I trust Lynn to get it done against a pathetic offense. So I'm going under Munaf. I would probably lean to a Chicago White Sox team total under as well, but I do like the under in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this Friday night, the White Sox have won 1 game on the road. I don't think that's going to start in this series. At some point, Lance Lynn is going to blow up. I don't think it'll be in this game. Maybe it'll be in the later months when it get to warmer temperatures and things like that. But again, like you mentioned, the Chicago White Sox team just bottom of the barrel in offensive statistical categories when it comes to batting average, scoring runs, and all that, all the offensive categories. So the only way I would look here is the Cardinals. If you want to get them on the run line, I could see a victory here, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2 type of victory here for the St. Louis Cardinals. Let me see if there is a available right now because I know DraftKings doesn't have it, but I'm pretty sure usually has. You might be able to get a plus price on the card here. Let me see if they have it posted or not. For tomorrow, yeah, you could get a plus 116 right now over on FanDuel on the run line here for the St. Louis Cardinals. Getting over to the next game on the schedule, the NL Central matchup between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubbies. Cubbies looking to bounce back in game 2 of this series. They are going to be sending Jameson Taillon out there against Tobias Myers for the Milwaukee Brewers. Minus 125 on the money line for the Chicago Cubs, plus 105 right now for the Milwaukee Brewers. No total just yet in this game. I do see an 8 over on FanDuel right now, but again, we'll be waiting for the wind direction. Like I mentioned, the Cubs did drop the first game of the series on Friday afternoon. Did have a 1-0 lead, but Brewers put up 3 in the top of the 8th. Got the 3-1 victory there. Now Cubs look to bounce back here in this matchup here, Lonte. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they bounce back. Taillon on the mound, 1 earned run allowed in every start. He's not allowing a lot of hard hits, so I don't expect him to give up a lot of home runs or extra base hits to Milwaukee. Although their offense has been kind of cooled off since, but they are really good on the road. Milwaukee, that is, but Chicago is really good at home. 10-3 at home. 10-4 at home after today. They won 6 of their last 11. I just think I'm going with a better pitcher here. I'm going with Taillon over Myers. Myers has allowed 3 home runs in 2 starts, so you might want to look at some hitter props for the Cubs. He also had 4 earned runs in his last start versus the Yankees. So I think the Cubs can get the bats going tomorrow. Well, tomorrow against Milwaukee. I think they get it done with Taillon on the mound. Also, probably lean first 5 under as well.
Yeah, he did go 4 run to the New York Yankees in a game where the Brewers uh, got hit hard, and the Yankees put up 15 runs in that game. 15-5 was the victory in that game. That Tobias Myers made the start for the Brewers, and like we mentioned, he gave up 4 runs in that start. And like you mentioned, Dion's been going on real well. He's made 3 starts. The Cubs have won all 3 of those games with him on the mound. 3-1 victory in a beautiful outing he had against the Mets in his last start on Monday. 7-30, allowed only 4 hits, 1 earned run, which was a solo home run that he did give up in that game. So, yeah, I think the Cubs bounce back here. I think you're getting a good price here on the Cubs. Depending on which way the wind is going to be blowing out, maybe if you look at a Cubs team total. I know the bats have cooled off a little bit, but they are going to get some reinforcements back. Might not be this weekend, but I do expect they said that Justin Steele may get the start on Monday, and they did Seiya Suzuki should be returning pretty soon for that lineup there as well. So Cubs getting some help back on both sides of they're on the pitching rotation and also in the batting order. Let's go over to the next game on the schedule. We got a 4:05 Eastern start. The Colorado Rockies, they are in Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates in this game. Austin Gomber getting the start here for the Rockies, and it'll be Jared Jones on the mound here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates are a minus 205 favorite in this game, plus 170 on the money line for the Colorado Rockies. Total is set at 7.5 in this game here, Lonte. Gomber versus Jones.
Man, I won't lay anything with Pittsburgh right now, and I will not take anything with Colorado. Both teams lost 7 of 10. Pittsburgh is under in 9 of their last 10. I guess 8 if you depending on like what number you got in one of those games. But what I do like here, Munaf, I like Jared Jones K prop 7+. He's at 7+ Ks in 4 of his 5 starts. Colorado offense pathetic. They're bottom 3 in strikeouts per game. So I think the best play, my strongest play, would just to be to stay away from the side and go with some Jared Jones, like total outs over. Love his K prop over. Colorado's bullpen also is really bad, allowing 5.7 runs per 9. So if maybe you want to get an early run from Colorado and come back and play Pittsburgh live, that might be better scenario. And again, I don't fully trust Pittsburgh to lay this big of a number. They don't hit well. They don't hit lefties well. I think they're like 210 versus lefties. So I don't trust them fully. What I do trust is that Jared Jones will come to pitch, and I would like his K prop to go over. I'm not sure if that's out yet, but whenever it is, I'll be over that.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm looking at these matchups, left-handed pitchers going up against a team, really like looking at those numbers as well. Colorado are not very good against left-handed pitching. Pittsburgh is, let me see, where's Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh, they're actually top 10 in WRC plus at least this season. But yeah, I mean, look, as great as Jared Jones, and if you're a believer in Jared Jones, the problem with him is that he does give up home runs. He's got in 5 starts he's made this season. In 3 of those games, he's allowed multiple home runs. And this last start against the San Francisco Giants, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, and like I mentioned, 2 of those were home runs. Did end up losing that game. And also the Pirates have lost 4 out of his 5 starts that he's made for the team. So if you want to back Jared Jones, I think like what Lonte mentioned, that you want to maybe look at a strikeout prop for him or maybe an outs issued prop or something like that. But I'm not laying a minus 200 price on the Pittsburgh Pirates, even if they are going up against, the Colorado Rockies in this matchup. So, yeah, no play for me in this game, and my attention will be on other series, that's for sure, this weekend outside of this one between the Rockies and the Pirates. All right, before we get over to the next game on the schedule, let me tell everyone about the newest sponsor over on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's going to be NYRA. Bet the NYRA Bet. Score big on the Kentucky Derby with a double dose of rewards. Sign up today for a $20 free bet and $200 deposit bonus with promo code SGPN25. Join now to claim your $25 free bet and a $200 deposit bonus at nyrabets.com/SGPN25. If you need more, bet Kentucky Oaks Day with a $30 bonus. Opt in and bet at least $150 on each on the Belmont and at the Big A and downs. $30 bonus, win or lose, and we're also giving you an extra $50 for Derby 150. Bet $250 each on Belmont at the Big A and Churchill Downs for a $50 bonus, win or lose. Visit nyrabets.com to opt in. NYRA Bets has everything you need to bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports with the confidence. For expert picks, betting insights, promotions, and more, visit nyrabets.com and make sure to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit bonus at nyrabets.com/SGPN25. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Next game on the schedule, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays. They are going up against the Washington Nationals in this game. Let's see here. Let me get to the lines. I've got Kevin Gausman getting the start here for the Toronto Blue Jays. It'll be Jake Irvin on the mound here for the Washington Nationals. Nationals are plus 142 on the money line, minus 170 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Total is at 8 in this game here, Lonte. What do you think about this matchup between the Blue Jays and the Nationals?
Yeah, man, I lean under here as well. I don't trust Toronto. They've lost 7 of 10. They're 3 games under on the road. Gausman has been better after a shaky start. He's allowed 1 earned run or less in his last 3, and 2 of those games actually went under. The Toronto Bats have yet to get going this year, especially on the road. They're hitting like around 205 on the road. They're hitting exactly 199 in their last 10, 2.7 runs per 9. So I don't trust their offense. And although Irvin, he can't get a bad rap at times, he's been okay. 2 earned runs or less in 3 of his last 5 starts. And the 2 starts that he didn't do well in were against the Dodgers and Philly, 2 premier offenses in the association. But I mean, in the MLB. But they are returning home from a back-to-back road series. We always like to fade, the team coming back home. So I just don't think I can do it with Toronto. So I'm going to go under that 8, Munaf. Washington is actually better on the road. I mean, they played Texas and the Dodgers tough in those 2 road series. They're 4-8 at home. They, for whatever reason, they hit like really good on the road, and they just can't hit at home. Right now, they're hitting 207 in their last 10. I think we see a low-scoring game here. Gausman kind of returns back to what he's been doing in his last 3 starts versus the first 2. So I think we see a low-scoring game here, man. I'll go under that 8. If I had to lean anywhere, I would lean to Toronto in the first 5 and try not to get to that bullpen. I would rather go with the Gausman first 5 versus the full game.
Yeah, he's bounced back pretty nicely, has Kevin Gausman, ever since the first 2 starts. He allowed 6 earned runs in first 2 starts this season, and pretty stellar outing against the Dodgers at home. I do expect him to bounce back here as well. I think they'll be able to limit the bats here of the Nationals. Like you mentioned, Nationals have been actually better on the road than at home here. So, I'm not sure. Again, this Toronto team, they're really up and down. I'm not sure if I can trust them, but I'd lean here to the Toronto Blue Jays. I know it's a big money price right now at around minus 170. But Jake Irvin is also a guy that's really inconsistent. Like, he had 1 bad start, which was against the Dodgers. But again, who's not having a bad start against the Dodgers? Right. Bounced back pretty nicely against the against the Miami Marlins. So I think I'm with you on that under, man. Right now, sitting at 8 in this game, maybe on the move to 8.5. So maybe if you can wait for a better number, you can get it there. So Blue Jays for me, I'm agreeing with you on the under in this game between the Blue Jays and the Nationals. 4:07 Eastern start. We've got the Miami Marlins. They are taking on the Oakland A's in this matchup. It will be Trevor Rogers on the mound for the Miami Marlins. It's Paul Blackburn Day for the Oakland A's. Oakland A's are a minus 120 home favorite, even money on the money line for the Miami Marlins. And I am seeing a total of 8 in this game here, Lonte. What are your thoughts on the Marlins and A's?
Oh wow! So Miami is a dog now.
Even money. They're a dog.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when I first looked at it, Oakland was a dog. Oakland was even money. So the money came poured in. I wrote down wrong team favorite because I mean, Miami can't be favored against anybody right now. I mean, they've lost 7 of 10. They're 2-10 as a favorite. I don't even know how they were favored 12 times. But Oakland won 7 of 10. They've won 4 in a row. Their offense has got going. They've 5+ runs in 3 of their 5 games. You know, Blackburn on the mound. I think we were like a year or two ahead of him on this show, back him, especially in those first 5. But he hasn't been as sharp as his last 2 starts. But he did face, you know, the Yankees in Baltimore, and this offense of Miami is nowhere close to those. So I think he can get back on track. They don't hit lefties well. That's my only like pause with the game. But at home, I think they can get it done. Miami's hitting under 200 on the road. Blackburn should be able to shut them down. I think they win a low-scoring game. I would lean under as well. So I would go Oakland and under. I think we see like a 3-1, 2-0 type of game here. Blackburn should be able to go pretty long in this. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like a quality start and shuts down this Miami offense.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at his first 2 starts against the Detroit Tigers, who aren't a very great offense. Washington, same thing. He was able to shut down those 2 lineups, get the victory there. The concern, like you mentioned, for me also will be is he going to be able to get the run support in this game? But I'm going to go with Paul Blackburn at home here, going up against a really bad offense in the Miami Marlins. If you don't want to put that money, I mean, if you want to, again, look at pitcher props for Paul Blackburn, whether it's outs issued. I know he's not a huge strikeout guy, but I think the outs issued, I think he can go at least 6 strong innings here against his Miami Marlins offense. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go Oakland A's first 5 innings money line, and I'll go full game with them as well. You know, if he's able to go 6 innings, great. He hasn't made it past the 6th inning of his 5 starts thus far this season. So I think it seems like his cap right now may just be 6 innings, depending on the pitch count as well. But I do expect him to bounce back here in this game. So I am on the Oakland A's here against the Miami Marlins and Trevor Rogers, who, again, Rogers 0 for 4 this season, 0-4, I should say, this season. And the Marlins, to nobody's surprise, have lost all 5 starts that he's made this season for the Miami Marlins. And take that a step further, Lonte. When he's made those 5 starts, the Marlins have lost by at least 2 or more runs in those games. So take that for what it's worth. Hopefully they're able to get going against left-handed pitcher in Trevor Rogers. So, and again, not a whole heck of a lot of run support. In the 5 starts that he's made, 5 total runs the Miami Marlins have scored. So yeah, not very good right now. So I'll go back to Paul Blackburn in this game. Next game on the schedule, we'll go over to the San Francisco Giants. They are visiting the Philadelphia Phillies in this game. I am seeing Keaton Wynn getting the start here for the Giants, and it'll be Ranger Suarez getting the start here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies are a -175 home favorite in this game, +145 on the money line for the Giants. Total is set 7.5 in this game here, Lonte. What are you thinking about the Giants and the Phillies?
Yeah, I love the Phillies in this matchup. The Giants are they're really weird, man. I have no idea what to do with them. They're one of those teams I just can't get right. But they have won 7 of their last 10 against Philly. But I mean, they're just kind of up and down. They're 500 in the last 10. 9 of the last 10 have went under. I do think Wynn is pretty good. 1 earned run allowed in each of his last 3 starts. But just a caveat to that, he's played weak offenses. I mean, Pittsburgh, the Mets, Miami, Tampa. San Diego is kind of like in the middle. And I guess you can say the Mets at the time that they played them, they weren't ascending like they have been like when they went on that little run. But I think Philly with Suarez, is it Suarez still on the mound, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think Suarez has been awesome. ERA of .60. All of his home starts, all of his starts that went under. He's not allowed a run at home in 15 innings pitched. I don't expect that to change here. The Philly offense has been rolling 5+ runs in 6 of the last 7. So I think the Philly team total over and them on the run line is a solid play, even though you're not getting the full 9 at bats. I think the offense could be able to carry them. Wynn hasn't seen, a ton of good offenses, especially not as good as Philly. So I like Philly here. Lean over. Love the team total to go over for Philly as well.
Yeah, San Francisco, I mean, really against left-handed pitching has been bottom 4th in the league on most of the statistical categories. Team batting average, they're number 23. Slugging percentage, they're number 24. OPS is number 23 as well. WRC plus number 23 as well. So they're hovering around seventh or eighth worst in most of those offensive statistical categories. Yeah, I'm on the Phillies here with you as well. Ranger Suarez, pitcher of the month, and rightfully so, man. He's only allowed a total of 3 earned runs. He's been going deep in games as well. He's pitched in at least 6 innings in all 5 starts. His last 3 starts, he's gone at least 7 innings, and he's just going along very, very well right now. And again, the Phillies have won all 5 starts that he's made for this Phillies team by multiple runs, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 4. So I couldn't talk you off of a run line play here for the Phillies. That number right now for the Phillies run line in this game is sitting at -1.5 plus 132. So I think there's some great value there on that Phillies run line in this game, even though they are the home team and you won't get all 9 at bats. But the way that he's pitching, I definitely think that he can continue his dominance. Next game on the schedule here, we'll go over to a 6:10 Eastern start. The LA Angels, they are in Cleveland to take on the Guardians in this matchup. Currently seeing Reed Detmers getting the start here for the LA Angels, and it will be Ben Lively for the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians are a -140 home favorite in this game, +120 on the money line for the LA Angels. Total is set at 8 in this game with a little bit of juice to under here, Lonte. What are your thoughts on this matchup between the Angels and the Guardians?
Yeah, I think the Guardians are a little bit too short. They are returning home from back-to-back road series, tough series actually against Houston and Atlanta. But I mean, I don't trust the Angels at all. I mean, they're losers in 8 of the last 10. The main thing that I came away with, Munaf, that I think was not being properly priced in is that, okay, Detmers has been good, really good on the road, 1 earned run allowed and 2 starts. But if he kind of doesn't have it and he allows like a couple runs early on, their bullpen is really bad. I mean, they had an ERA of 5.42, while Cleveland's bullpen has been elite. And the one thing about Cleveland offensively is they're not a juggernaut offensively, but they're hitting actually 271 versus lefties, 5.8 runs per 9. So I think that's not properly priced in here. Maybe, they're getting a bump for, returning back home and, kind of that letdown bump. But Lively's been good as well. 2 earned runs less than 3 starts. He shut down Atlanta, which was really impressive to me. So I think Cleveland is probably one of my favorite plays on the card for tomorrow. So I like them a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cleveland, blow them out 7-3, 8-2 type of game.
I was going to mention that Cleveland has also been top 10 in most offensive statistical categories over the last 2 weeks against left-handed pitching as well. So I think they should have some success against Reed Detmers in this game. You take a look at Detmers' last couple of starts here. He's starting to give it up a little bit here. Let me pull up the page. So his last start against the Minnesota Twins, 5 innings, 5 earned runs, gave up 9 hits. Baltimore Orioles, 7 innings. He did give up 4 earned runs, 2 home runs in that game, 6 hits overall. And the Angels have now lost 2 straight starts he has made. Got off to a great start to the season, but I think he's starting to regress here a little bit. Now you're going against a Cleveland Guardians team that's pretty good against left-handed pitching. So, against left-handed pitching is what I'm trying to say. So I'll go all the Guardians here as well. And Ben Lively, last year was a guy that we were fading, but he's really found his form here with his Guardians team. He's only allowed 2 earned runs or less in all 3 starts, and they've been against Boston, and he had a really good outing against the Atlanta Braves there as well. 4 1/3, 4 hits. He only allowed 1 earned run in that game. So maybe if you also want to look at a strikeout prop for him, he's had at least 5 strikeouts in all 3 starts and had 7 strikeouts in 2 starts against the Boston Red Sox in each of those 2 starts. So I couldn't talk you off of a strikeout prop there either for Ben Lively. Next game on the schedule, we'll go over to a 6:40 Eastern start. The Baltimore Orioles, they are in Cincinnati to take on the Reds. John Means gets to start here for the Baltimore Orioles, and Andrew Abbott on the mound here for the Cincinnati Reds. Reds -102 on the money line, -118 on the money line for the Baltimore Orioles. Total is set at 9.5 in this game here. Lonte, what are your thoughts on the Orioles and Reds?
Man, this is gonna be a good series, but I struggle to come up with anything, man. I know that this is a season debut for Means, so we don't have a lot of data to back him up. But Baltimore offensively, they do hit lefties pretty well, 274. They perform well on the road. Cincinnati is kind of one of those teams that, like, I think I've been saying it for 2 years. Like, they just don't. When they can't score, they don't win. It's just something about them winning low scoring games that they just can't win. And they also hit lefties pretty good. No, never mind. I'm sorry. They're hitting 218 versus lefties, and overall they're hitting 214. In the last 10, they're hitting 194. So the bats are not going good right now. I mean, I wanted to look under Munaf, but I really can't do it. Not with how well Baltimore's offense. I mean, they might can get to this number by themselves if Abbott isn't careful. And although he's been good, 2 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts, the way that Baltimore is hitting the ball and the way that they can hit lefties, I don't know if I can trust that. So I'm going to pass. I would lean over, if anything, but nothing strong. I mean, I'm not sure how Means is going to be as well. Like, he could come out. I'm not sure if they're going to like have any limitations on him or what the case may be. So I'm going to stay away. I would lean over if I had to play anything, though.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you much about. I mean, John Means last season did return towards the tail end there. And he looked pretty good for the Baltimore Orioles. Now making a season debut for this team, I think that I want to see what I get out of John Means first. Like you mentioned, Andrew Abbott has left-handed pitching. The Baltimore Orioles have had success recently against left-handed pitching. So, I mean, I had the same sentiments as you did. I need some data from John Means before I can back him. If you want to look at a Baltimore Orioles team total over, couldn't talk you off of that. If you want to back the Baltimore Orioles in Subway, maybe back the offense here. Because Andrew Abbott on his last start, which was against the Texas Rangers, did give up 4 earned runs in 5 1/3. 6 hits allowed. 2 of the 6 hits that he did give up were home runs to the Texas Rangers. So, and like, Lonte mentioned there, that Orioles have been pretty good against left-handed pitching. So I think this might be an opportunity for you to back this offense probably all weekend, honestly, going up against the starting pitching of the Reds and even that bullpen. So couldn't talk you off the Baltimore Orioles team total over whether it's first 5 or whether it is going to be full game in this matchup against the Reds. Let's get over to the next game on the schedule here. We got the Texas Rangers. They are in in Kansas City to take on the Royals in this game. Dane Dunning getting the start here for the Texas Rangers. And it's going to be Michael Wacha. Rangers -115 on the money line, -105 for the Kansas City Royals. Total is at 9 in this game here, Lonte. What are your thoughts on the Dunning versus Wacha?
Yeah, this is another one that I struggle with as well. I mean, we got a lot of teams returning back home from like back-to-back road series because Kansas City is another one. Walker's been, he's been good, and he doesn't allow a lot of but he does allow a lot of contact, and that's not good for Texas's offense against Texas offense, who, while they've been slumping, I mean, they're prone to going on runs at a time. I mean, Walker's allowed 8+ hits in 3 of his 5 starts. Kansas City is a team, I think we all were pretty much high on. They're pretty good at home, 12-5 at home. They've won 6 of 10. I'm gonna go with the better pitcher against a struggling Texas offense. Kansas City returning home. They should be fired up for this series. I'm gonna go Kansas City and Wacha, but I'm just hoping that Wacha can like stay in line and not give up a lot, because if the bats get going for Texas, they do leave a lot of people on base. Yeah. But like something tells me that they might be due for a breakout series here. I know we bet on the due factor, but something tell me with a hard hit rate like Wacha has and how much contact he allows, all it takes is a couple of good innings, and it could be a landslide for Texas. So I'm going to stay off, but I would lean to the over, thinking that if it does get out of control, that Kansas City can score some runs as well as Texas.
Yeah, I was thinking about the first 5 over in this game. I think both pitchers can give it up, especially early. We've seen Dane Dunning give up at least 3 earned runs in 3 of his 5 starts, and also Michael Wacha, like you mentioned, coming off of 2 straight starts where he allowed 8+ hits, 4 earned runs in his last game against the Detroit Tigers, gave up 2 against the Toronto Blue Jays, gave up 2 against the Chicago White Sox, gave up 5 against the New York Mets. So wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3-2, maybe you get a push, especially since the total is 9, that first 5 innings total is going to be 5. If you're able to find a vig probably over 4.5, I definitely could see at least 5 runs being scored at the end of 5 innings in this game. So first 5 over for me. I'd lean here with the Rangers. Dane Dunning he's been pretty solid on the road. 2-0 with 3.86 ERA, 7 earned runs and 16 1/3 innings pitched. So I couldn't talk you off of that for the Texas Rangers. All right, before we get over to the next game on the schedule here for tonight, Let me tell everyone here about our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Hey, look, it's that time of year where we have NHL playoffs going on. We got NBA playoffs going on. Obviously, the golf season is going along as well. But in honor of the NBA playoffs being here, our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing the fantasy pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, assists, and so much more. Make entries of all basketball or and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. Underdog is also running a ton of different promos, bonus cash airdrop specials, giveaways, and more throughout the NBA playoffs. So make sure to follow at underdogpicks.com or at underdogpicks on Twitter to keep an eye out. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, like I mentioned, including California, Texas, and Canada. And they also just launched Champions, their player versus player format in Florida. So make sure you sign up with our promo code MLB SGPN, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code MLB SGPN. All right, Lonte, let's keep it rolling here, my man. Next game on the schedule here to my part of the world here. You got the Seattle Mariners. They are in town to take on the Houston Astros. Currently seeing, let me get back to my odd screen here. It's going to be Logan Gilbert getting the start here for the Mariners, and Framber Valdez is returning here for the Houston Astros. Astros are a minus 140 home favorite, plus 120 on the money line for the Mariners. Total is set at 8 in this game here, Lonte. Mariners, Astros, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I like the under in this game as well, man. And Munaf, you can like kind of correct me. I don't know. Is there any limitations on Framber? I know he only went 5 in his last start. So is he like good to go, or are they kind of like on a pitch count, or what's his deal?
I would still think that he'd be on some type of innings cap or pitch limit. My guess would be either 80 to 85 pitches or 5 innings would be my guess here. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can still trust this bullpen, but the Astros have turned it around. They've won back-to-back series. They won the game last night against the Guardians, and this is a huge matchup between these two teams in the AL West. So
yeah, definitely.
My guess would be about 5 innings would be my guess.
Yeah, so I'm going to lean under. I'll lean to Seattle as well. I don't really love it, but they're just 500 on the road, but they have won 7 of 10. They're 9 of 10 have went under. Gilbert has been really good. 1 earned run, a fewer in 3 of his last 4 starts. 4 of his 5 starts have went under. And the thing with Seattle, the reason why I'm just leaning to Seattle is because they don't hit lefties well at all. Actually, they haven't been swinging the bat good at all in the past few weeks. They're hitting 208 in their last 10, 213 versus lefties overall. And we know Houston, they struggled at home, 5 of 10 at home, 5 and 10 at home, but maybe getting some momentum. They're getting some of their rotation back. The bats are going to heat up sooner or later. But as of right now, 9 of their last 10 went under as well. So I think we see, just a pitcher's duel here, depending on if Framber can give that bullpen a little bit extra time to prepare. He can go maybe like 5 2/3, maybe 6. That would be ideal if you want to back the Astros. But I'm going to lean to Seattle here, thinking they can get the bat on the ball. And if they can't, they'll probably, get some – I guess they'll get some kind of offense going with that bullpen of Houston's not being fully intact. So I'll lean under and lean to Seattle.
Yeah, you mentioned Seattle has really just struggled against left-handed pitching. They have the second highest team strikeout percentage over the last 2 weeks against left-handed pitching, 31.7%. The only team that's worse, the Tampa Bay Rays, 40%. So in WRC, against left-handed pitching, they are bottom 5 in that category, tied with the Chicago White Sox. Team batting average pitching over the last 2 weeks, Seattle is the 10th worst as well. So I think the key is going to be in this game that if the Mariners can stay patient at the plate, we know that Framber Valdez gives up the walks. But I think maybe if we look at a strikeout prop in this game for Framber Valdez, maybe a 5.5 with maybe plus money, but I think this is an opportunity where you could probably get on the strikeout prop here for Framber Valdez. I like your under call. I agree with you on that. It's at 8, like we mentioned, is at 8 right now. We could see like a 4-2 type of victory either way. Mm-hmm. Logan Gilbert has actually been fantastic against the Astros as well since the 2022 season. 4-1 with a 2.73 ERA. He won both starts he made last season against his Astros team. 13 innings combined in those 2 starts, 3 earned runs. The issue was that he did give up 3 home runs, but they were all solo home runs to the Astros. So as long as he's not giving up, multi-home run or multi-run home runs, 2-run home run, 3-run home runs, I think he can go along well here. So I'll be with you. I think it's going to be a pitcher's duel between these 2 squads. 7:15 Eastern start. The New York Mets, they are in Tampa to take on the Rays. Christian Scott gets a start here for the Mets, and it'll be Zach Littell for the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays are a -118 home favorite, -102 on the money line for the Mets. Total is set at 8 in this game here, Lonte. What are your thoughts on the Mets and the Rays?
Yeah, I love the Mets here, man. I told you I was maybe you weren't on, but I can't back the Rays anymore, man. They lost 8 of 10. They were swept by the White Sox. Littell, his numbers are okay, but he is allowing a lot of contact. 8+ hits in his last 3 starts. As a team, they're around 215 batting average allowed, or the batting average in the last 10. That is for Tampa. And Severino has been really good, man. I mean, he has just been unfortunate. I mean, the guy had a no-hitter going and ended up losing the game. 1 earned run or fewer in 4 of his last 5 starts. He's not allowing a lot of contact. He has 3 games where he's allowed 3 hits or fewer. And the Mets, actually, their offense is better on the road. They're hitting almost 270 on the road. And like their bullpen's been lights out. Although they've lost 6 of 10, I think they can get back on track here. Especially with Severino on the mound in that form. And if they can get to Littell early, Tampa's bullpen is really bad. I mean, ERA at 5.5. So if they can get there, get the bats going, I think they can get a win here. So I'm going with the Mets on the money line.
Yeah, the Rays have lost 4 of the 5 starts that Littell has made thus far this season. Not a lot of information here on Christian Scott. But again,
so it's not Severino going for the Mets?
I think what I'm seeing currently over on DraftKings is see Christian Scott listed, but he may be in there for like an inning or 2, and then Luis Severino may get like the bulk of the innings in after that. Let me just double check.
Because I guess I just whenever I was prepping, I seen Severino, and I totally just overheard what you were saying.
Yeah, so I think he may be just going a couple innings here, and then you'll see maybe Severino or something like a long relief.
Okay. I still like the Mets though, regardless.
Yeah. So again, if you want to fade Littell here, again, like Mets money line, or if you want to take a look at hits allowed by Zach Littell, if your book offers that, it's either he's a strikeout guy or he's giving up contact, like Lonte mentioned. So, Rays have just fallen off the face of the earth right for all the success that they had in the plenty of success in the prior years here. So the Mets are starting to look like the team I guess people may have expected them to be, especially with all the talent or they have on the batting side. So if you're a Mets fan, maybe there's a little bit of light at the tunnel. You're starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel. 2 games left here, Lonte. 8:10 Eastern start. The San Diego Padres, they are in Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks. Michael King going to start here for the Padres, and it'll be Brendan Pfaadt here for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are a -125 home favorite, +105 on the money line for the Padres here. Total is at 9 in this game here, Lonte. What are your thoughts on this game between the Padres and the Diamondbacks?
Man, if anybody has any idea what to do with either of these teams, please let me know, because I have no idea. Like they're pretty much mirror images of each other. Like if you look at like their metrics, they're pretty much the same. Even if you look at the last 10, they both lost 6 of their last 10. They're both hitting around the same average in their last 10 and on the season. So I'm not sure what to do, man. I might just lean over. King is allowed 10 earned runs in his last 2 games, 4+ in 3 of his last 5. He is like getting killed on the home run. 8 home runs allowed in 5 starts.
Yeah.
So like I might just lean over. But outside of that, Munaf, man, I have no idea what to do with either of these teams. I think they're both exactly the same. It probably should be like 110 on each side, to be honest. That's how. So I probably would just take the dog, and because I think it's a coin flip game. I don't think much separates the team. I mean, Brandon Pfaadt, he's okay. I mean, 2 earned runs or less in 3 straight, but I don't trust the Arizona offense right now. And although King has allowed, all those home runs, if the offense can't get going for Arizona, I mean, that's kind of like it's like a net negative. So I'm going to lean with the dog here. I would lean over also.
Yeah, I'm on the over here. I think the first 5 innings over. Like you mentioned, Michael King has allowed 10 earned runs over the last 9 innings that he's pitched. 8-6 loss against the Phillies, 7-4 against the Colorado Rockies in Colorado. Brandon Pfaadt's been a guy that I've really wanted to fade when he's pitching at home. I'm going back to last season to see his home and road splits. I think he was the pitcher that was worse at home last season. 10 games he started at Chase Field, 4 with a 6.46 ERA. Does have pretty good numbers against the Padres last season, but again, he's been consistently bad at home as well this season. 18 innings pitched, 9 earned runs allowed. And just again, looking at his game log here, the 2 games that he's pitched at home this season, in the month of April at least, 9-6, 15 runs, and then 8 runs combined against the Chicago Cubs there. So I think that, again, you want to fade both of these pitchers. I'd take the first 5 over 5 in this game. Couldn't talk over a full game over 9 either in this game. So, yeah, not sure I want to back either one of these pitchers right now for this game at least. Last game on the schedule here, Lonte, the series of the weekend. We got the Atlanta Braves. They are in Dodger Stadium to take on the Dodgers. Bryce Elder going to start here for the Braves, and Tyler Glasnow for the LA Dodgers. Dodgers are overwhelming -170 home favorite, +142 on the money line for the Atlanta Braves. Total is set at 9 in this game here, Lonte. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, man, what a great series this is going to be. I just don't think this game will be as good because I don't trust Elder. I trust Glasnow. Glasnow 1 earned run or fewer in 3 of his 4 starts. This is the best offense he's faced. I will preface that, but yeah. I think he'll be better than what Elder's doing. Elder, he's been fine. His numbers are kind of like raised by pitching against subpar offenses like Cleveland and Miami, and this will be the best offense that he's faced. But I think we can all agree that Glasnow is the superior pitcher. Atlanta offense kind of fell off a cliff a little bit in the last few games, 218 in the last 10, while the Dodgers have been like smashing teams. They're hitting almost 300. This is the second straight road series for Atlanta. Dodgers rolling right now. Man, I think the Dodgers are gonna lay the hammer to them tomorrow. I think they'll lose tonight though. But similar situation as far as the pitching matchup. But I like the Dodgers. I like the team total to go over, which is pretty much all you can bet. This is probably one of the fairest prices you're going to get on the Dodgers all year. That's not inflated. So I like Glasnow strikeouts as well. But if you can find like an alt line -2.5, I'd lay that as well. I think the Dodgers are ready to lay the smack down on Atlanta. And that's saying something because Atlanta is, highly power rated team. But just how their offense is going right now, I mean, they've not been good at all offensively. So give me the Dodgers and on the run line. And I also like the team total over as well.
Yeah, I want to see more out of Bryce Elder. I mean, he had one great start against the Marlins, but he's not doing that. He did allow 8 hits in that game, though, to the Marlins, so that's a little bit concerning there. And then the last start, the Braves did win 4-3, but he went 5 1/3, allowed 2 earned runs in that game, 4 hits, 4 walks he did allow in that game against the Cleveland Guardians. So I think there's a spot where the Dodgers offense may break out here against Bryce Elder. And Tyler Glasnow, again, this is going to be his biggest test of the season because, like you mentioned, he hasn't faced the greatest offenses, but the strikeout numbers are there for him as well. He's been able to go deep in games. He's gone at least 5 innings in all 5 starts. He's gone at least 6 innings in 4 of his 5 starts. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do this Atlanta Braves lineup. But yeah, I'd be on the Dodgers here as well. Dodgers team total over. Their run line right now is -1.5, +120. So some plus odds there against this Atlanta Braves team on Saturday night. So yeah, I'll definitely back Glasnow here and look at Dodgers team total over with his first 5 or full game in this game against the Atlanta Braves. All right, that is the last game on the schedule. Like I mentioned, we didn't get to the Red Sox game against the Guardians, I believe, because they do not have a pitcher listed. The Twins. Yep. Pablo Lopez going to start for the Twins, but nobody yet listed for the Red Sox. So couldn't discuss that game with you guys, but we got 14 of the 15 games on the pod here for you guys, which will lead us to our lock and dog here. Lonte, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, sure. Well, we'll go to an ugly game to lead us off for the lock. I'm going to lock in the under 8 in the White Sox in St. Louis. You don't even have to watch this game. Just check your bet slip at the end, and hopefully it's green because both of these offenses are terrible. The pitchers, while they aren't talked about in the mainstream a lot, been pitching pretty well. Like I said with Freddie, 160 ERA, 2 earned runs or less in 4 of his last 5. Lynn also has been really good, 1 earned run or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's also striking guys out at a high rate. Both teams' offenses are hitting under 200, so I don't think we have to worry about a lot of run support here for either side. The offense is pathetic for both teams, so I'm going under that 8 in Chicago and St. Louis. The dog, I'm going to go to a run line, something that I think we both pretty much like. I'm going with Philadelphia on the run line. I think Suarez will be able to shut down the San Francisco offense. If they do get anything, I think it might be like later on against the bullpen. But I mean, he hasn't allowed a run at home. Suarez hasn't. So all of the starts that went under. I don't suspect the San Francisco offense to kind of wake up and get going against one of the better pitchers in the major league. When, although his numbers are good, weak offenses, Philadelphia should be able to mash him. They scored 5+ in 6 of the last 7. So give me Philadelphia on the run line. That should be -1.5. Do you see like +135
for the Phillies run line?
Yeah.
Let me see here. I see
+127. I'm sorry.
I see 124 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything with a +1-2, I'm good with.
Yeah, I see FanDuel. Let me just double check. Yeah, DraftKings have the best price right now on +124.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll take it.
All right. For my lock, it's either the Mets or it's going to be the Oakland A's first 5 innings with Paul Blackburn. Yeah, let me go first 5 innings with Paul Blackburn. Didn't work out last time for me, but that number right now on DraftKings is -130. If you want a little bit of plus odds on the run line for them, it's at +110 right now. So again, I do expect Paul Blackburn to bounce back in this game going up against a weaker offense in the Miami Marlins. We saw in the first 2 games that he pitched that he was able to shut down those 2 offenses with the Tigers and the Nationals. Did get blown up by the Yankees and the Orioles, and we know those are the 2 better offenses in the league. But again, going up against the Miami Marlins team, number one, that's been absolutely atrocious on the road and really not been able to hit on the road either. I think that's a good combination here for Paul Blackburn to bounce back in this game. So give me the first 5 innings money line -130 for the Oakland A's. For my dog, it's also going to have to be a run line here. I took the Cardinals on Friday night card as my lock. You know what? I'm going to go with the Guardians on the run line, man. I think that's a nice price there. 45 with Ben Lively on the mound. Talked about Reed Detmers and this Cleveland Guardians offense success over the last 2 weeks against left-handed pitching. They're going to be without Mike Trout. I mean, that was pretty much their offense for the foreseeable future. They're without Anthony Rendon, who was not doing really much of anything other than robbing the pockets of the owner of the LA Angels. But I think, again, you have 2 teams that are going in opposite directions here. Guardians, I think, do bounce back here at home on the run line, -1.5 +145. So I will take that to the bank as my dog for the Saturday card. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast for the Saturday card. Lonte, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
Nah, that's it, man. Pretty. Hopefully everybody has a good weekend, and we can get some winners.
Yeah. Again, hopefully it should be a fun games this weekend as far as baseball goes. I know we have NHL playoffs, we have NBA playoffs, and we'll be back on Sunday night to go over the Monday card. So look out for us then. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.